Alright, going down to do the mod on my front end. If you've been watching my videos, I made it to Suburban Riders, and as I was coming across Minnesota, I started noticing a hitch in my steering. Been talking to Rebel Yell 91, and so I just decided to do this video because I know I got 3 or 4 other KLR guys out there with this problem. Is only affected on the 08s and up. I've looked at the 08, 07 and down, and when they changed the design in 08, there's a design flaw. Now, as I was after Suburban Rider and I went to the Cowie dealer, and the Cowie dealer said, yeah, your bearing's going out in your lower stem. Now keep in mind, the info that I got off KLR650.net when I was researching the bike in the first place said that they haven't been greasing those bearings in Vietnam. So at 170 miles, I tore it apart and greased everything. And I've got videos of that. Well, actually they're picture videos because I didn't have a video camera at the time. So I'm going to show you all what the deal is. Geez, oh man, drink much?
Only when it's necessary.
And your hair's wet. What have you been doing? Sweating?
Eat showered pussy.
So to start with, here's where the problem lies. I'm going to pull down on the fender. Suburban Rider and I put a piece of foam in here and we taped it. Now right behind here is the lower stem bearing. And I'm going to take this fender off and show you. So I'll be back. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the fender off and drop it down. Then I'll show you exactly what we're talking about. You can get some better light on it. Okay, here's what I'm talking about. You can see the tape. See the bolt on the left there, and there's a bolt on the right. Suburban Rider and I stuck a piece of foam in there and taped it up. I'm going to take it off and put it back in. Take the tape off, and then I'll put the thing back in and I'll show you exactly. Okay, right there is access to the lower steering bearing. It's right on top of the triple tree, the bottom one, and it allows access into it. Not to do anything with it, but if you're talking about high pressure spray, it'll get in there. Now, you have
Car wash and car wash.
You have this bracket that once it's in place, see the slot? That's how water got in there. Now, like I said, I completely disassembled this, the 170 miles on it, and greased everything. Here's that bracket. There's also this plate that goes on there, but it sits like this, and in no way does it deflect any water. and this bracket sits underneath here like this. So it's still open to that bearing. Okay, as I was sitting there despairing, trying to do something else with my mind and letting the ideas come from the back of me, Chuck was dead on it, and he started researching it on the internet, and he found a guy named Justin Case that's on KLR650.net, and he had posted photos of exactly all this. So Chuck and I talked about it, and we think we figured out a fix for it. So that's what I'm gonna do today. And I tell you what, Chuck did a hell of a deal trying to figure that out, and then he figured it out. We went into the Kawasaki dealership. We looked at a 2010, and they've got a piece of metal in that slot that may protect it, may not. When I get done manufacturing this thing, I think it's going to be the way to go. So much appreciation to Chuck, and we'll see how it goes. What I'm going to do is take a piece of metal and try and bend it around and bend it up, and we're going to eliminate this design flaw. Be back. Okay, when you get this far, this is basically what it's going to look like. Got the aluminum, got the bracket, got the black plastic, the bolts coming through on the back side. Now I'm going to bend this metal forward to touch the black bracket. Okay, you can see how I bent that. There's a brake cable that comes up here that goes through there. And I got that metal. It should be pretty much blocked now. There shouldn't be any water getting through there and spraying directly on that lower bearing. This cost me 4 days because we had to order parts. So we took it apart the first day, ordered the parts. It was 2 days for the parts to come in, and then we put it back together, and then we went and rode for a day. Basically took a day off to do that, but it's a design flaw, and Chuck pointed it out to the dealer, and he hasn't heard anything on it, so I'm sure Kawasaki's not going to do anything about it until somebody bitches enough. But it's going to take more than one person. So just to let you know, do this, because you don't want to go through this like I did. Be back. Alright, as you can see, I cut it a little bit too long. That was kind of planned, so I had to cut out the where the bolts go for the fender. Now I'm going to bend that metal up underneath, and then the fender is going to go back on. Should work, guys. Yeah, once again, thanks to Suburban Ryder for figuring this deal out.